Chappie. It's raining, Chappie. It's kind of like one of those days. Chappie, what can we do a vlog on today? I got it. We're going to do a vlog today on why we downsized and moved into this apartment. Why would we sell our big house and move to an apartment? Chappie! That'll do something. What do you think? Ready? Let's go. Right. All right, come on, Chappie. All right, as many of you know, about a little over a year ago, Sheila and I made a big jump. We sold our house to try out something different called this luxury living lifestyle, I guess is what you'd like to say it. And the question I think that we get the most is, why? Why? Why would we sell our beautiful 3,200 square foot home about, I can probably say 2 miles away and move here? Why would you do that? Todd, you put all that time and energy and effort into the kitchen, you remodeled it, and then like 4 months later you were out the door. What were you thinking? So today, I think I'm gonna clear that up for you. Yeah, let's take a seat. Okay, been wanting to make this video for a little while. Let's just back up a little bit. We bought our old house about 13, 14 years ago. It was a fixer-upper and needed a lot of work. And so we did all that work. It took us a long time. I mean, we did it in segments just like most of us do. And then about 3 years ago, I decided to renovate just about everything. And then we ended up selling the house and coming here. And you're like, why would you do that? And that's a great question. And this is the question that everyone asks. Okay, so here's why. It was very difficult to get to a season of our life when our kids were grown and looking around in a 3,200 square foot house, knowing we would never go down to the basement and we never would really go upstairs. We were living on one floor anyway, so why not make the change? And so we decided at one point after my wife drove by, I say we, actually she decided that she would drive by and they were building this wonderful place from the ground up, and it's called the Royale at City Place. It even sounds good. She brings home the brochure, she throws it on the counter. I said, absolutely not. This is the dumbest idea ever. You're supposed to own a house. You're supposed to have equity. You're supposed to grow in that. And then I started looking around at all the things that needed to still be fixed in the house after I just spent 4 months remodeling the whole kitchen and spending about $30,000 to do it and building the kitchen of my wife's dreams and realizing I was far from done. It wasn't that I didn't want to do it. It's just the fact is that when you're just the two of you from that point forward, you have to make a different choice. We're living in a different season of life right now. See, here's the thing is that our grandkids are not coming back to visit like they used to. We're not being raised like we were back in the day where the whole family always came home. No, as grandparents, we have to go to them now. That's the biggest change. We decided to make the change. Let me introduce you to the Royale. You gotta admit, it's stinking awesome, right? So the amenities are fabulous. We have, you know, trails to take bicycle rides on. We have trails to take Chappie for a walk. I mean, when you look around at the pool, you look at the place that we're living, it is nice. And here's the nicest part, is that I come home from wherever I'm at, and my wife comes home from work, and the thing is that when we stick the key in the door, we know when we come in, we don't have to fix anything. I don't even have to change a light bulb if I don't want to change a light bulb. I just call down and they come and fix it. But how did we get from owning that house and making the decision to do this? And it was hard. I shed a lot of tears because we've had a lot of memories in the house. The kids walking down the stairway, you know, to go to proms, and the first cars in the driveway, and all the things, playing basketball, and just all the things that would come from owning a home and building the memories, they were in there. But since the dynamic has changed and our girls have gotten married and they have families, we spend a lot of time going to see them. And so we were noticing that we had this house that was gonna sit empty most of the time, and we still had a lot of things to fix. So we chose this life for a season and point in time. And the reason for it is that I don't think, you know what? Hold on a minute. Whiteboard. Okay, so people ask me right away, the very first thing they ask me is like, Todd, how much does it cost to live there? I'm like, okay, well, let's just figure it out. It's right around $2,100 a month. That's what it costs. Every unit's different. Ours is 1,600 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms and a den, so every one of them is a little different, but right around $2,100 a month. Todd, how much is your utilities there? $150 electrical. So let's just say we're all in, because we have some storage fees, say $2,300 a month. My mortgage payment on the past house with, you know, our insurance and everything was right around $1,300. So we're about $1,000 difference living here than we did when we lived in the house. And you're thinking, you're spending $1,000, that's just like ridiculous. And I thought that same thing too, because when Sheila gave me that information on this, I was like, that is absolutely asinine that people would do that. And then I walked out to my truck, and do you know what I saw when I walked out to my truck in the driveway at my other house? I saw a garage door that needed to be replaced, was $1,500. Then I saw a driveway. The driveway itself was gonna have to be redone, and so when I had it priced out, it was around $6,500. So where am I at? I'm already at $8,000 in repairs to a house that I really don't own. The bank owns it currently. Now it does appreciate in value. Guess what it also does? In 2008, it sure depreciated a lot. So the depreciation and appreciation, depending on where you are in your cycle and how long you've lived in the house, can be a good thing and a very negative thing. So I'm $8,000 in the hole on a house I don't own. How am I gonna budget an extra $8,000 to fix these things? So most people will go out and get a home equity loan, right? So then all of a sudden now they're even more in debt on this house that they want to stay in, and they want to make it look pretty for their neighbors to see. And that's just 2 things. Go to the backyard. Guess what? Todd, we really need to fix the deck. The bottom 2 stairs have come off. So I priced it out. Deck with staining, I'm at $7,000. Congratulations, Todd. You're now at a $15,000 price tag. But Todd, that back fence, it really has some issues. Some of the posts have had termites in them and they're falling down, and we're gonna have to replace that. Oh, congratulations, Todd. There's another $4,000. I'm at $19,000. Before I left, I spent another $7,500 on a heating and air conditioning unit, which was crazy to think about because I put it in and 3 weeks later we sold the house and we left. I did get the money back, but come on, think about that. What about you? Are you looking at having to fix a bathroom because the tub keeps leaking and the tile's falling off, and you're looking around going, well, that's gonna be around $3,500. See, Home Depot was my friend, but I hated going there. So then I started thinking this summer, let's just round it to $20,000. This summer I watched my buddy go through this thing where his foundation, see, we didn't have a whole lot of rain, unlike now, and so the foundation had pulled away, or the dirt had pulled away from the foundation, so therefore it caused his wall to sink out. And he was getting ready to spend almost $20,000 for foundation repairs. And they said on the news story there was over 800 and some calls or something for foundation repairs. And I got to thinking, I was like, what would I have done in that situation, in that house? If that would have happened while I was living there and there would have been a big crack or something would have happened, I would have had to pay for foundation repair. I was at 19 and I'd have to pay another 20. I'm almost $40,000 into this thing on a house that I don't own, that I've taken second mortgages out on to fix. So who's sillier, right? I mean, even if I'm spending an extra $1,000 a month to live in this wonderful place, I would have to spend that for 20 months to break even. So I'm really not in the hole. I was gonna have to spend the money anyway. So I think this type of living is great for a season of life. It also doesn't come with any rewards saying that I'm building equity in anything, but let's just flip the script a little bit. Is the house really an asset? Is it? It doesn't pay you. You don't have people living there that you can get money off of. So let's flip the script. What if I buy a beach house, say Florida, and I put it on Airbnb, and I spend $250,000 and I rent it out while I still rent here? Now I own something that's appreciating and depreciating as an asset, because an asset is something that will pay you and people are renting it and they're paying that mortgage. I'm gonna be paying it down, or I can be making a profit on that while I still live here. Your home is not an asset. I think we've been lied to. I think it can be if you decided to live there for 20 and 30 years, but most of us aren't doing that either. What I see when I go out, and I feel disheartened when I go help people with roofs, I see people living in homes they can't afford because they can't afford the upkeep. And when you have to look at them and say, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to spend $15,000 or $20,000 on a roof, and that wave of how am I going to pay for that comes over them, I don't know who's in a better scenario, honestly. Or they bought a house that they just was too big for them. Just because you can afford to buy X amount of dollars doesn't necessarily mean that you need to live there. So those are my thoughts on living here. I'm happy that we live here. I think it's a wonderful thing. I've had a great time living here. We are here until June of 2019 currently, and we might renew and we might not. But the fact is that we just made a different lifestyle choice. So hopefully you can see what the Royale is like. I love this place. I love the people. I've had a lot of fun being here so far. The camaraderie is great. I've met more people here than I met my neighbors, because my neighbors just hit the garage door button, pull in and shut the garage door button. And we won't even talk about Mary that I had, because you know, I love to dance in the front yard for Mary. I love to wait, you know, I grew weeds. I used to mow my grass in diagonal. I don't know, I look back on those times as fond memories of having the house, but I don't miss it. It's just a different season of life. I'm in a different season of life than I was. If you're a family and you're growing and you have little kids and you're growing them up and you want them to be in that neighborhood, I get it, that was me. But then you're gonna get to a point where you're like, do I really wanna do that? So what we see in this community and what I'm seeing in this building is a lot of early professionals that have just got their first really good job. And I'm also seeing us, mid-40s, early 60s, retirement, selling everything and coming into a luxury living lifestyle and having a community. It's totally different than what I think apartment living used to be. This is more of a community type living, and the Royale, I think, has nailed it so far. So there you have it. Hope you had fun, hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, we are out.
Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by, and weep not for the memories. Don't let your life pass you by, and weep not for the memories. 'Cause I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by, and weep not for the memories. Don't let your